What's up, buddy? Alright. I got some advice for sub5s in today's video. First of all, what am I doing? Driving from my parents' house who I was visiting back to the crib in New York. I figured kind of got no plans other than more potential work tonight, so might as well pick up a hoe on the way back to New York who lives in Queens. So yeah, one of the girls from the Hinge video, not the ones that I'm sure you guys would be excited to see, but nah, just one of the girls that I actually had hooked up with like a year or maybe 2 years ago, but I left her on red one day because she asked me for an Uber, and obviously I didn't like that, so I ceased communication then. Anyway, she saw me again on Hinge, and so I was like, all right, fine, we'll rekindle this, you know. So I'm going there to pick her up. She said, what exactly are we gonna do? I fucking hate that question. Like, stupid. I don't know, what are we gonna do? So anyway, it got me thinking, like, how, you know, it's so funny how you could, like, you really don't need to compensate, and you don't need to spell out like, oh, we could play a nice game of pool and all. You don't need to do any of that if they desire you. And in fact, it's better that you don't bother explaining yourself. Don't do any of that if the desire is genuine. And you don't got to be a Chad for that. There just has to be a big enough discrepancy in the looks, you know. And that's not to say this girl is, you know, I'm not talking down on the girl. I'm just saying there's a discrepancy there where, you know. But it got me thinking, like, you know, I would love to advise this to all of you guys, but unfortunately some of you are probably sub5, and it just got me thinking on a tangent, like, man, what do I advise to sub5s? Like, I want to give them some advice today. And the advice I would have for sub5s is I would recommend going specifically for fat girls. Not just like genetically ugly girls in the face, but specifically fat girls, you know, because it's like 2008 Bitcoin. You really don't know what potential genetics lie underneath all that. And the genetics that are going to be passed down to your offspring, you don't know. It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. Nah, I'm sure you could tell to a degree a little bit. Like, if she's got colored eyes, you could see that. If she's got blonde hair, you could see that, like her pheno. If she's got a giant nose versus a small European nose, you could see that. And so, yeah, I think you could be relatively intelligent with your decisions. But yeah, try to go for fat girls. Look, I'm not trying to say, like, I'm not trying to be that guy to be like, look, I see fat guys with girlfriends all the time. Because, bro, like, I'm not the type of guy to say that, but I will say I do see a lot of sub5s with relationships, and most of the time it is with a fat girl. But that's not so bad. You know why? Here's my advice. You yourself, once you start getting into a relationship with the fat girl, start taking GLP-3, Retta. And you can't tell her to take it, because that's never going to work. That's not how you persuade human beings. You got to be indirect. So what you do is you start doing it yourself, and she's going to start seeing progress on you and asking questions like, how are you doing this and all? And then just keep planting seeds like, oh, I'm taking this peptide called Retta, and then just talk about it super highly, like it's really good. And then eventually she'd be like, well, I want to try it. And then there you go. You let her try it. Inception. You know, you can't tell someone to do something.
In 1 mile,
they have to come to the decision on their own, you know? So that's my advice for you guys. So yeah, if you're a sub5, you could still be acting this same way too. just gotta find the discrepancy still. Like maybe you go for like a 3, and it's mostly due to her weight, which isn't the end of the world because it's like Bitcoin 2008. I don't know. I'm just trying to give you guys some advice. I just want to see you guys enjoy life, because I know how hard it is. On a serious note, obviously I'm trying to be like half satirical, half give advice, because like technically, like as ridiculous as it sounds, like that is good advice if you could actually execute that, like the plan perfectly. Like develop a relationship for a year, start taking Retta, and then she hops on it too. Yeah, like that would work out pretty well. And yes, the caveat is that the genetics for high fat accumulation will most likely be passed down to your child, your offspring, unless the genetic recombination is mostly lucky towards your end and you don't have that. But more likely than not, your child is going to be fat as well. But you know, then you just get the child to hop on a No, I'm trolling. You wait until they're fully developed, like 20 years old, and then you teach them about peptides. And by then they'll be fucking GLP-6s hitting 6 receptors. Eli and Lilly will be like one of the biggest companies in the world, and all of us who invested in it are gonna be mega millionaires. All right, that's it for this video.
Police reported ahead.
Yeah, that's it.